Just happy to host the first and second rounds. We had, four great teams to, come to South Carolina and display their many talents. But I was really proud of the effort on both sides of the ball from our ball club tonight, and it's a really good feeling knowing that we we were able to send our seniors out. Well, they were able to carry us on to a last game in Colonial Life Arena, and the fans showed up like they have done for the past few seasons, and just really proud of the atmosphere that was in the gym today.
Thank you, Coach. Questions for the student athletes only. Up front.
Tiffany, Aja takes a seat pretty quick into the game. Was that just kind of your cue to say, all right, I've got to give me the ball?
Our post players are a big part of what we do. So when one goes out, you kind of got to pick it up on the defensive end so we can create some offense for ourselves.
Left side.
Elena, just how difficult and different of a day was it today for you?
It was difficult in the sense of at a certain point having to play a type of defense that I'm not used to playing, and it kind of didn't work. So just trying to find different, looks in how to stop their big girl. And besides that, I don't really feel it was that much of a bad. That kind of day.
Question on the right side.
Tiffany and Kadisha, could you just talk about what that was like coming out for the last time at the arena here?
For me, I wanted to cry, but I didn't cry. It was a time I'm always going to cherish, remember. Gamecock Nation has been a real big part of my life. They make it so fun to come in here and play this game with these girls. They have created the best fan base in the country. And I will say this, thank you for everything you have done for me in the past 4 years.
I agree. There was a lot of emotions. I'm not trying to cry. So,
Stop.
It's a great feeling.
Question up front.
Elena, same thing. When Aja takes a seat early, how do you and the other guards kind of try to get it among yourself to say, okay, we got to pick it up now?
We just noticed where the weaknesses lied, and we just really had to attack it within the opponent's defenses. We saw where we could easily get the ball inside. We saw that we already know that pounding the ball inside is going to open it up for our guard. So we just stuck to that game plan. Even if Asia didn't get in foul trouble, that's always the plan. Pound it inside. We're going to make it available for you guys to get your shots off.
Question up front.
I'm not sure with pregame prep if y'all got to see it, but Syracuse has already advanced. You get them in the first round. AZ State, Tennessee playing right now. Just first thoughts on Syracuse, and then thoughts on the whole Sioux Falls regional. Looks like there'll be the top 4 seeds might be there.
Well, sorry. We're going to get everybody's best basketball, so we're just going to have to be prepared. From here on out, everybody's just going to give us their 110%. We're just going to have to come back harder than that.
Question in the middle.
Khadijah and Tiffany, as important as the bigs are to this team, when you guys can, as you talked so many times about using the defense to create transition offense, and when you get that rolling and the crowd gets into it, it seems like that's when this team everything is clicking. Could you feel that out there, especially in that second quarter, when you guys seem to build a little bit of separation?
Yeah, I think so. That's when we're at our best. When we're getting out in transition, we're getting easy buckets. And then we're clicking inside, so then the outside opens up for us, so we have easy looks at the basket. So once we get going transition, I think we're pretty good.
And I'm just pumping the crowd up. That's it.
Question in the back.
Tiffany, what are you going to miss most about playing in this arena?
Just the support that we've had the past 4 years. It's just crazy how much I've seen the program change. I committed when I was in 11th grade, and I could count the people in the stands. Now I can't count any open seats. So the turnaround that this program has had and the support that we've gotten from Gamecock Nation is just unbelievable, and that's probably what I'm going to miss the most.
Question on the left side.
Khadijah, kind of one of the same questions. How special was it after the game, after everything was done, just kind of running around, seeing everybody cheering and applauding for you, and just taking it all in? What was that like?
It was just a great feeling, but I did that because I knew I wasn't gonna be able to do it in Sioux Falls, and I know nowhere else is gonna feel like that. So I wanted to go crazy, and that's the only time I get to do stuff like that. You know, coach really don't like that craziness, but I did it on purpose for her.
Question in the middle.
You doing Sioux Falls?
Despite the little bit of a ragged start the other night after the 12-day layoff, y'all look at your last 4 games. I mean, where do you feel like this team is in terms of how well you're playing heading into the regionals?
I mean, we're playing good basketball right now. We're playing, our best basketball, and then around this time we need to be. So I think we're in a good place right now.
Any more questions for the student athletes? Up front?
Have any of you ever been to South Dakota?
Never been to South Dakota, ever. Never thought I'd be there, but I guess we're gonna see on Tuesday.
Nope.
No.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
You want to keep Eli or no? Oh, he's coming.
Bye. That's your responsibility.
That's a no.
Questions for Coach Staley? Up front?
Yes, Coach, tonight this was Elena's 19th double-double this season. How much is that a luxury as a coach to have someone that just about every night you can rely upon that's going to give you double figures in points and rebounds?
It is a luxury, and I think we have a few of our post players that give us that luxury. I think Lay does a great job at taking other people's rebounds because she's one that, can rebound out of her area. She goes to get the rebounds, and she's quite selfless when it comes to all the other stuff that comes with playing our game and playing, for our, the players that's on our roster.
Question up front?
Dawn, how much of a luxury is it to have a player like Tiffany, especially somebody like AJ has to take a seat early, and Tiffany just doesn't even need the coach to say, I got it.
I mean, she's, Tiffany Mitchell has been that for us for the past couple of seasons. She knows when to turn it on and when to turn it off and when to, kind of fly under the radar. But I do think she made a conscious effort when Asia went out to just step up and know that, we needed to, not feel Asia sitting on the bench for the majority of the game.
Question in the middle?
Same question I asked to them earlier about you look at your last 4 games, just regardless of the rough start the other day. How do you feel like this team is playing right now heading into the regionals?
Well, I think we're playing games pretty consistently. I don't know if we're practicing that way. I think at this stage of the game, practices are pretty boring to players, but it's key to our preparation as we play teams that, we maybe played once or played twice in the past 2 years. But, they're a little different group because they can not play so well, practice so well, and then turn around and give you that kind of effort, but it still puts you on edge as a coach, trying to figure out what team is going to take the floor.
Question up front?
Yes, Coach, could you kind of describe the satisfaction that the game played out in a manner in the final home game for that senior crew that's been so important, that it played out in a way that allowed you to kind of give them their individual curtain call?
I mean, because we're playing our best basketball, we afforded ourselves to be able to salute and honor our seniors in that manner. They, have been the cornerstone of our program for the past 4 years. It was only right to have, 10,000 people who have watched them grow and mature, send them off in the kind of ovation like they did.
Left side? Okay. Go ahead, Pete.
Dawn, talking of luxuries, just the fans here again. You turned on other sites out there for the women's game, and you saw a bunch of empty seats. You wouldn't have seen that if you were watching TV here. What does that say about this place and how quickly they've embraced everything that you guys do?
It's quite incredible. Other coaches around the country, when they see all of us on the recruiting trails, they ask us, what are we doing? And, there's some marketing behind it, but it is word of mouth. It is, our fans enjoy the atmosphere that they create in our arena. And they tell people, and if they can't make the games, they give their tickets to their friends to make sure, people are sitting in those seats and cheering extremely loud. It was really, really loud in there, and I can't, thank our fans for just writing the script, because I don't know if it's ever been done like this, ever, in any program.
Question on the right side.
Don, in talking about your fan base, some of your players were saying the other day that they think you've picked up a lot of fans in that fan base from other schools that might be fans of other schools in football or something like that, but that just like your team so much that they've latched onto it. Have you seen that as you've kind of gone around town or gone around the state over the last few years?
Well, I just think that we pull from, a variety of places. Obviously, when you're a Gamecock fan, you want to be a part of a winning program, whether that's football, baseball, softball, basketball. You want to be, you want to help put whatever, product that's out on the floor in the best position to win. And it's not just South Carolina fans. It's people in the community that have never been, to a South Carolina athletic event. They're coming to our games. So it's an incredible, beautiful, view as you look, all around the stadium. It looks like no other. And I think they latch on to the players. And our players got pretty great personalities. It's social media. We try to respond to all of our fans. So if you follow me, I'm probably lighting up your timeline on Twitter, because I try to retweet to let our fans know that they are much appreciated. And if I don't give a response, the retweet lets them know I hear them, I feel them, I see them.
When you say it looks like no other, the fans, you mean diversity, or what do you mean?
A diversity, just people who have never, I've talked to people who have never, been to a sporting event on our campus, but yet they show up for our games, and they just feel like they're a part of it. And that's us being personable throughout the, wherever we go. If I'm on a recruiting trip locally, if I'm at the grocery store, if I'm riding around on my bike, people are really, really genuinely care about what we're doing.
Back left on camera.
Don, for many programs, the Sweet 16 is a really big deal. For your program, is it still a big deal after you've been there a few times? And I'm wondering what the balance is between celebrating, advancing to the Sweet 16 and knowing that you're not done yet.
I mean, it's still a really big deal, because if, you look back 6, 7, 8 years ago, I'd much rather trade places, and, it being this, in this phase of our program. It's a big deal because we don't get to hear very often. And I'm quite sure that, all the 16 coaches that lost today and will want to think this is a big deal to be in the Sweet 16 or not, or rather not be in the Sweet 16. So yes, we're gonna smell our flowers as we continue to advance in this NCAA tournament, because you never know. So we want to enjoy it.
Question up front.
Tom, first thoughts on matching up with Syracuse again. You haven't faced them in a year, and then maybe some of the other teams in the pod. You're going to be probably familiar with all of them.
We are. We're familiar with all of them. Syracuse is playing a little bit, more up tempo. I doubt if they play us the same way they played us last year, packing it in, because they've pressed, for 40 minutes all year long, and I doubt if they change, change who they are and what they bring to the table since it's worked. It's got them into their program's first ever Sweet 16. So, we have to bring our best effort.
Question in the middle.
You told the crowd, go home and do your laundry. I mean, do you expect some of your diehards will follow you to South Dakota?
Oh, some have already, have their tickets, have their plane tickets, and they're ready to go. So, I won't be surprised, to have a handful of people there supporting us.
Any last questions for Coach Staley? Thank you.
Thank you.